Mushrooms are a potential source of vitamin D as vitamin D2. Mushrooms are the only non-animal food with substantial amounts of bioavailable vitamin D and may be the primary source of dietary vitamin D for vegans and vegetarians. The vitamin D2 pathway is similar to that of D3. Unlike plants, mushrooms have high concentrations of ergosterol in their cell walls, which plays a similar role to cholesterol in animals in that it strengthens cell membranes. When the mushroom is exposed to ultraviolet B radiation, ergosterol in the cell wall is transformed into pre-vitamin D2, which is then converted to D2. Several varieties of mushrooms have been studied to see which have the most vitamin D. However, the research attention has been given to the three most consumed mushrooms: the button, the oyster, and the shiitake. Remember how I just said mushrooms are a potential source of vitamin D? On the chart we looked at previously, mushrooms had a whopping 2,300 IUs of vitamin D2 for 3.5 ounces. However, there's a catch. Most fresh retail mushrooms sold in Europe, North America, Australia, and New Zealand are grown in atmospherically controlled rooms, then harvested and taken to market and retail outlets in refrigerated transport. As they are usually grown in darkness, the only time they are exposed to light is during picking under artificial lights, which emit little or no ultraviolet radiation. Hence, the vitamin D2 content of retail fresh button mushrooms sold around the world is reported to be less than 1 microgram per 100 grams. As 100 grams is considered to be a realistic serving of mushrooms, approximately 3 buttons, this provides negligible vitamin D2. When fresh mushrooms are deliberately exposed to midday sunlight for 15 to 120 minutes, they generate significant amounts of vitamin D2, approaching the daily requirement of vitamin D recommended in many countries. However, the amount of vitamin D2 formed depends upon the time of day, season, latitude, weather conditions, and exposure time. Slicing the mushrooms prior to sun exposure increases the D2 synthesis. Storage and cooking also leads to some losses of D2, reducing the content by as little as 12% to as much as 40%. When treated with bursts of ultraviolet light or sunlight, vitamin D-enhanced mushrooms contain high concentrations of D2, which is bioavailable and relatively stable during storage and cooking. So this could be a way to help alleviate the global issue of vitamin D deficiency.